Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the Code Enforcement Magistrate hearing for Martin County on this tax day, April 15th, 2026, at 9 a.m., 9:01, I guess. If you'll please stand, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please be seated. I'm going to try and take everyone in the order that you all came in.
Your Honor, though, if we can, just a quick application before we begin.
Okay.
The first case on the docket, ENF 2026-010429, Hoffman, we're requesting it be removed. We've given him an extension.
Okay. Okay, I got it. So we don't really need to continue it?
No, we don't need to continue. There's substantial compliance. All of the debris has been marshaled together, but it's still on the edge of the property awaiting waste management to remove it. So as soon as it's removed, it'll be in compliance.
Okay, got it. All right, so we're not going to hear that case today. First case that we are going to hear is the Coral Wind Cove Incorporated case. It's case number ENF 2026-010324-01. And folks are here on behalf of Coral Wind Cove.
Coral Wind is here, and so is the occupant.
Okay. All right, so this is a violation case, so what we're going to do is hear from the county first. I'm going to swear them in, and then they're going to testify, present evidence. At the conclusion of the county's evidence, assuming they make what the law calls a prima facie case, meaning everything that they have presented would lead me to believe that violation does exist, then the burden flips to the respondents to testify, to present evidence, to perhaps cross-examine, question the county if that's the case. But are you all here on behalf of the association, is that, or the corporation?
Yes, sir. I'm here on behalf of the association. I'm the president of the HOA.
Okay, so I'll ask you to come up, and you can stand at that podium if you like, and you'll watch the evidence being presented, or you can actually just sit there and look at it up on that TV screen. Because at the end of it, I'm going to ask if there's any objection to any of that evidence. So, all right. Okay, so we're going to hear from the county. While you're there, I might as well swear you both in. If you'll raise your right hands, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes, sir.
All right. And your name again, for the record?
Parrish,
Okay, and you're the president?
president of Coral Wind Cove's HOA.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
My name is Maria Espia, and I have been sworn in. I'm a senior code compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondent, Coral Wind Cove Inc., is present. This case concerns a property at 5400 Southeast Jack Avenue, Unit G2 in Stuart, Florida, in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Coral Wind Cove Inc. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. On January 28, 2026, I inspected the property. At that time, I observed trash on the side of the property and under the carport. At that time, I photographed the property. The photograph accurately shows what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibit number 2. This is the carport side of the home, and trash and debris on the side.
Okay.
Based upon the investigation, I issued a notice of violation to the owner on January 30th, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit number 3. In the notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violation, Section 67.201.b, nuisance declared trash, etc., General Ordinances, Martin County Code. In the notice of violation, the respondent was given until February 13th, 2026 to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. The occupant of the home came to our office on February 12, 2026. I explained the violation and gave him additional time to correct it. However, compliance was not achieved, and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on February 20th, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit number 4. The return receipt was not received, therefore on April 2nd, 2026, I posted the property and the Martin County Admin Building. The posting and affidavit of posting are marked as County's Exhibits 5 and 6. 5 is a posting at the property, the front door, screen room door. And the affidavit of posting is Exhibit number 6. Therefore, I went back to the property on April 14, 2026, and saw that the cited violation had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibits 7 and 8. 7 is the side view again of the carport area. You can see all the trash and debris. And number 8 is the other end of the carport, just a different angle, different view. I request that all of the county's exhibits be received into evidence. Based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondents be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29th, 2026, and if not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 for every day the violation continues thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and requests that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing.
Okay. All right, sir, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to tell me your name again.
Orville Parrish.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes,
Okay. All right, and Mr. Parrish, any objection to any of the county's exhibits?
No, sir, the residents of Corwin Cove is actually who called code compliance. Subsequently, Mr. Tucker is in the process of being evicted.
Okay.
And we wish a continuance for at least 30 days.
All right, so you don't actually reside there, you have a tenant?
So I have a place there also, yes.
You do, but you're also evicting the tenant?
No, he actually is a rental. He's a rental. This is a retirement community,
Okay,
and we have 76 owners and 20 rentals. And he's actually one of the rental properties.
okay. All right. All right, I think I understand. Okay, so without objection, I'll accept into evidence exhibits 1 through 8. Unless you've got something else to tell me, I'm going to find that violation does exist.
Right, other than we wish a continuance, and he is in the process of being evicted.
All right, the county is asking for compliance by May 29th. That seems like enough time to clean out the trash.
I would agree.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to find, based upon the evidence, your testimony.
Your Honor, if I might just
Yes.
interject a little bit. If I may ask a question to Mr. Parrish.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Have you begun the eviction process?
Yes, sir.
Has notice been served on them?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a hearing date?
It was supposedly going to be this Monday, the 20th, and as of yesterday, the judge asked for additional financial information. So we do not have a new hearing date yet.
Your Honor, the county would not be adverse to granting a continuance in this case because we don't know whether by, considering that the judge hasn't set another hearing date for him, whether it wouldn't be able to comply outside of any, fault of the respondent.
Well, I think what I'm looking at is evidence, significant evidence of the violation that's been charged. And I've heard the evidence, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that the violation does exist. Now, the question is, do you need more time to comply than May 29th? I mean, it seems to me that that'll be enough.
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, all right. So based on everything, I'm going to find that the violation does exist. And we're going to order compliance on or before May 29th, 2026, failing which a fine in the amount of $100 a day will accrue. I am going to award costs in the amount of $575 to be paid to the county at the conclusion of the hearing, and then it's so ordered. If you want, you may also take a copy of this order with you. If, that may somehow help you in the other proceeding, I don't know. Okay, and I'm just going to say by hand delivery. All right. And if you follow Miss Bradley, she'll give you a copy of the order. Okay. All right, let's see. The next case is the Shearbaum case. It's ENF 2026-020050, and it's Penelope K. Shearbaum, unless, what? Is she here?
Yeah, she's right here.
Okay. My understanding is that you came in second. That's how I've got you on.
That's how I got it too.
Is that all right? Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay, and then we'll get back to you, Ms. Espiat.
I got that too.
All right. Okay, and Officer Carrasco, if you'll just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. All right, and Ms. Shearbaum, just if you want to look at the monitor, you're welcome to do that, and then I'll call you up, and then we'll go from there, okay? All right.
My name is Deborah Carrasco, and I have been sworn in. I'm a code compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondent, Penelope K. Shearbaum, is present. This case concerns the property at 2930 Southwest Cornell Avenue in Palm City, Florida, in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Penelope K. Shearbaum. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1.
Okay.
On February 4th, 2026, Michael Humphrey, Code Compliance Inspector, inspected the property. At the time, he observed overgrown grass and an in-op boat trailer. At the time, he photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what he saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 2 through 5. That's the door tag. And the overgrown grass. Grass and the tires flat there. And that's just an overview of the whole property.
Okay.
Based on the investigation, I issued a notice of violation to Penelope K. Shearbaum on March 12th, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit 6. In the notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violations. Section 67.201A, nuisance declared weeds, undergrowth, general ordinances of Martin County Code, and Section 91.34A, general inoperable vehicle ordinance, Martin County Code. In the notice of violation, the respondent was given until March 19th, 2026 to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. I did do a reinspection of the property March 20th, 2026. The photographs accurately show what I saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 7 and 8. There's the flat tire. And then back here, well, some of this was cut, back here was still overgrown. Compliance was not achieved, and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on March 23rd, 2026, and is marked as County's Exhibit 9. The return receipt was not received on March 31st, 2026, the property was posted, as well as the Martin County Admin Building. The affidavit of posting and the posting itself are marked as County's Exhibits 10 and 11. There's 11 showing posted at the property. No call or letter from the owner was received within the allowed time. Therefore, Rachel Spradley went to the property again on April 14th, 2026, and saw that the cited violations had not been corrected. At that time, she photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what she saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 12, 13, and 14. I request that all of the Martin County, of the county's exhibits be received into evidence based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondent, Penelope K. Shearbaum, be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of Martin County Code by May 29th, 2026, and if not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 per violation for every day the violation continues thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation, and request that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing.
Okay, Ms. Shearbaum, just before you testify, let me just ask the county, did Ms. Bradley come back into the,
No,
she's still out there? I was going to have her testify as to what she saw when she actually
I was
took those.
I was actually there too.
All right.
If you want me to.
So if you'll raise your right hand, John. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so on the day that you were out there and saw the photographs being taken, is that an accurate representation of what you saw?
It is.
All right, and am I seeing this correctly? It looks like they may have come into compliance and then fell out of compliance again before the...
I believe they had a partial compliance because I don't believe the backyard was fully cut.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I think
we're
they
still flat.
did some of the front and the tire was still flat.
okay.
On
All
a,
right, and I couldn't tell that necessarily from 13, but if
Correct.
that's your
Yeah.
testimony. That's-
Correct.
That's fine, okay. All right, good, thank you. Mr. Colanda. Okay, come on up to the podium, and are you both going to testify?
I think this is my husband, and he
I'll do that.
does the work
Most
at the
likely, I'll
property.
testify.
So if you'll both raise your right hands, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I
And
do,
your
sir.
full names,
John Sherbaum.
okay? And ma'am?
Penelope Shearbaum.
Okay. And Ms. Shearbaum, you're the sole owner of the property?
Well, we're
Is-
married, so
Is it a rental, or do you reside
It's a
there?
private residence, Your Honor, and it's solely in her name.
Okay.
She had purchased the home before we were married,
Okay.
so,
And do you reside there?
no,
Okay, you don't. Okay,
no, we used to.
got it. All right, so you've seen the county's evidence, 1 through 14, heard the testimony of Officer Carrasco and Mr. Colando. Any objection to any of that?
there were some-
Let's just limit it to what you saw on the
yes, sir.
screen.
There were photographs dated April 14th.
Yes,
Okay, I was over on the 16th and took care of the mowing the lawn and putting air in the trailer tires. According to the letter that we got, we had until March 19th. So we were actually 3 days ahead.
March, April.
Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is March 19th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was April.
Okay, so we're in April and.
Gotcha, I'm sorry, my
yeah, yeah.
mistake, sir.
Okay, yeah, no, I got it. Okay, so without objection, I'm going to accept into evidence Exhibits 1 through 14. You now are testifying that you're now in compliance,
Yes, sir.
and that's great. I mean, that's a good thing to do. The problem, of course, is you have to get an inspection of the property for it to be cleared by the county. And that's good information for you and for anybody else that's similarly situated. The only way that this violation clears is when the county goes out and actually inspects it. And the notices tell you that that's what you have to do.
Okay.
You got to call them to have them come out and take a look and say, yep, you're good, and that'll take care of it. However, we find ourselves here at this hearing, so what I'm going to have to find is that the violation does exist until you call them, and you've now told them that it's clear, so they'll be coming out to take a look. But unfortunately, based on the evidence, I'm going to find that a violation does exist. I'm going to give you until May 29th to comply. You won't need that because you tell me you're in compliance now.
Yes,
If
sir.
you did not comply by that time, then there would be a fine in the amount of $100 a day. But here's the ouchie part. There are costs associated with this hearing and with the inspection and everything else that we're going through. It's $575, and it is going to have to be paid to the county at the conclusion of this hearing. And I would tell you, if it ever happens again, and for anybody at home that's watching, just know that if you contact the county directly, when you get one of these notices of violation, you may be able to work out some sort of a stipulation that you agree that the violation does exist, but you're going to fix it within a certain period of time. The costs are significantly lower because all I've got to do is just look at it and approve it, and then it's a done action. So you could have saved yourselves some money just by doing that. And I'm sorry, but not everybody pays attention to all the paperwork. Not everybody contacts the county, when they find a violation notice. So, anyway.
With all due respect, Your Honor, I just read this again. It's not clear in here that says that we should contact the county when the violation is remedied. I don't see it in here. Maybe I'm
Okay.
missing it. At
Let me
what
see if I
point?
can point it out to you. Let's see.
What page is on it? You want to go to 6?
End of the year, the NTA.
Okay, if you look at Exhibit 6, and actually just go to the top
That's
of
right
page
there.
2 of Exhibit 6,
2.
it will tell you. So it says, failure to correct the listed violation by the date specified may result in presentation at a hearing. The code enforcement magistrate is empowered to levy the fines. And then it tells you basically what happens. Should you require additional information regarding the notice, please contact the building department. And then it gives you all their contact information. And let me just see.
Doesn't say
It also says in the
It's very.
in the notice of hearing, may give you more information. Nope, that's not it. Well, that's interesting.
They just keep saying if they have questions regarding.
Yeah, that's the,
All very interesting. Any staff comment?
well, the notice does give the contact information.
Oh, it does.
And
No-
it
no
it
question
specifically says
about
that there's
that.
any questions as to what the violations are or how to clear it, is to call that. So that,
Yeah, I'd love that paragraph to be a little clearer. Yeah, as Mr. Schierbaum points out, it doesn't say, oh, by the way, if you don't call us, bad things happen.
it might point out a call when the notice of hearing was received as to why if they thought they were in compliance, would have cleared all this up long before we got here.
No question, and I think you've had enough notice, but it would be a lot better if it actually said what I was telling the Schierbaum, so. And of course, the notice of hearing is just the notice of hearing, but the notice of violation gives you notice that you need to take action by March 19th. That didn't occur. So, I mean, there's enough to continue on with the case. But like you, I wish it was more clear. And I'm going to ask the staff to look at that and see what you can do about that paragraph.
This is a paragraph in bold that states, "It is your responsibility to contact them upon."
Okay. All right. And it does tell you, that paragraph does tell you that code enforcement magistrate can levy fines up to $1,000 a day.
Yes, sir.
So we're not doing that. And of course, if you, and it does tell you too that the costs of prosecution are added to the penalty. So I think you've got enough notice there. And you were told to comply by March 19th, which you didn't do. Okay. It's enough, but good point. Good point.
One other point, Your Honor.
Yes.
It's my understanding that code enforcement is not permitted to investigate claims based on anonymous complaints.
That's correct. Under the law, they either have to tell you, they don't have to tell you, but you may ask if there was a complainant or whether they happened to drive down the street and see it. And so that's a change in the law in the last couple of years. And it does affect how the code officers do their business. So if they get a complaint, they have to log that complaint. They've got to know who it was and be able to tell the respondent who actually made the complaint. If they did not get a complaint and they just happened to see it, then you will hear them testify early on, which Ms. Carrasco did, that it did not come about as an anonymous complaint. So either that means there was a complainant or she happened to just see it.
It was
With
Michael
all due
Humphrey that
respect,
saw it.
Your Honor, she did testify that it was an anonymous complaint.
Was not.
No, it was not.
Was not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was
I
not.
misheard.
Yeah, and that the language there is a little tricky too, but, and I'm sorry,
Michael Humphrey, another code officer, is the one that saw
it
it.
actually
Yeah.
saw it, okay.
And then it
So-
was my area,
so
so I followed up on it.
It's one of the code officers who actually saw it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and issue the order in the case. Make sure that you have someone come out and take a look in the next couple of days, and that'll take care of it, but you do have to abide by the order.
We were there
And
yesterday.
Actually, you know what? I was going to say that Ms. Bradley could give you a copy of this if you want, but they're going to be out in the next couple of days. They can give that to you. But you want to do it now? Okay. There we
Right. Your Honor, is there any way that, you have a man in the field, you can call him on the phone and say, hey, drive by, is it done?
I honestly,
Just curious.
I don't know how the county does that, but do you all have each other's contact information? I know you've got the
They have my
main,
information.
yeah, you've got the main number, and you know how to reach them, right?
No, I have not heard from him until today.
I can give you a number.
Yeah, if you'll give Ms. Carrasco the number, then yes, sure. Yeah, we'll take care of that. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right, the Lopez cases. And those are, I'm looking at ENF 2026-010-149 and ENF 2026-010-150. Is it the same property or is it?
A same
different?
owner,
But
2 different properties.
two different properties.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do the 149 case, which is, the owner is Francisco Lopez. And is Mr. Lopez here?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so you can look on the monitor, and the county will present its evidence, or you can come up and sit up front, wherever you're comfortable. You can actually sit right behind Ms. Espiat if you want, or you can sit up there, you can stand there. We got lots of places. Okay, all right. Whenever you're ready, you've been sworn in.
My name is Maria Espeat, and I have been sworn in. I'm a senior code compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondent, Francisco Lopez, is present. This case concerns a property at 5152 Southeast Kingfish Avenue in Stuart, Florida, and Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Francisco Lopez. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. Also note in Exhibit 1 that this is a residential vacant property. On January 14, 2026, I inspected the property. At that time, I observed a vacant lot being used for parking and storing along with an RV being lived in. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the aerial view of the lot. I will zoom in for you. So this is the view off of Salerno, and you can see the RVs here. Everything's open, and there's vehicles being stored there. 3 is the view off of Kingfish. There's the vehicles, just a different angle.
Okay, and it looks like that lot is paved?
It was paved without a permit, but they've returned it since to grass.
Okay. All right.
And number 4, you could see items stored on the property along with the vehicles as well. Number 5 is an aerial view of the property. Based upon the investigation, I issued a notice of violation to the owner on January 28, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit Number 6. However, due to clerical issue with the code, an amended notice of violation was remailed on April 1st, 2026. The amended notice of violation is County's Exhibit Number 7. In the notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violation. Section 12.603.2.b, permitted uses in the Port Salerno redevelopment zoning district, General Ordinances, Martin County Code. In the amended notice of violation, the respondent was asked to immediately correct the violation since I had already explained it to him on the phone in February how to correct it and in person at the property as well. This property is in Port Salerno in the CRA. Exhibit 8 is the map that shows that this is a CRA zone. Compliance was not achieved and an amended notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on April 1st and is marked as County's Exhibit Number 9. On April 2nd, 2026, I posted the amended notice of hearing at the property and the Martin County Admin Building. The affidavit of posting and posting at the property are Exhibits 10 and 11. 10 is the affidavit posted on the RV. 11 is the affidavit of posting.
Yeah.
While posting the property, I also took additional photos showing that the property was still in violation, and I also noticed plumbing connected to the RV. The follow-up photos are marked as County's Exhibits 12 through 15. 12 is showing there's, I guess, beer cans and other items, tires. 13, you could see some plumbing connected here. 14 is a different view, different angle. 15, more items stored behind the vehicle. Now the vehicle has a flat tire. I sent an email to the health department to verify if the plumbing was hooked up, and Exhibit 16 is the email response from the health department. I'll zoom in for you.
16?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Therefore, I went back to the property again on April 14, 2026, and saw that the cited violation had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photograph accurately shows what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibit 17. All the items and vehicles remain on the property. I request that all of the county's exhibits be received into evidence based upon the testimony and evidence. I request that the respondent, Francisco Lopez, be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29, 2026, and if not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 for every day the violation continues thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and request that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll come up to the podium. And if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sir?
Que tienes que jurar que vas a decir toda la verdad.
Okay, sí, sí. Okay, hable, hablar inglés, ¿hablas tú?
Pero tú tienes que decirlo porque
Oh,
esto.
puede traducirse con mucho inglés, bien.
His daughter will translate for him if that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, what is your name, ma'am?
Miss Tatiana Lopez.
Okay, and that is your dad?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and just translate what I said, and it's an oath to tell the truth.
Dice que es como básicamente que tienes que decir la verdad.
Okay,
Okay.
See?
sí.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So, let me just ask you, does your father understand what is being presented?
Que si tú comprendes que te acaban de enseñar allá arriba.
Sí, sí.
En ese techo. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and does he have any objection to the county's exhibits that have been presented? Any, like a technical objection to any of them?
Como que si tienes algo que, como, básicamente decir que no es verdad lo que te acaban de enseñar.
Sí, todo lo que está ahí está bien, pero dígale que el pavimento ya lo levantaron.
Sí, ella dijo eso,
okay.
ya.
Y que la RV tiene sus propios,
No,
él quiere saber si la evidencia, si usted tiene algo contra someter la evidencia, solamente.
Oh,
Y después
okay.
le puede decir su caso.
no, todo lo que está ahí está bien.
okay.
With the evidence.
All right, so without objection, I'll accept into evidence the county's exhibits 1 through 17 in this case. Now,
20%.
Mr. Lopez, do you have something you wanted to tell us? Is that what I understood was going on
Yes, I
there?
think he wants to explain something.
Yeah.
Se quiere decir algo a él. Que se le quiere decir algo.
Pues ahora supuestamente ahí no puedo tener nada en el terreno, entonces no puedo tener absolutamente, ni el RV no puedo tener nada, no puedo tener ahí nada. O, por ejemplo, cosas que por ejemplo, las trailas, que cosas que muevo puedo tener ahí o no puedo tener nada, porque supuestamente cosas que no, que están ahí parqueadas todo el tiempo. No, pero si cosas que yo muevo puedo tener ahí o no.
Okay. So
He was wondering if he could still keep because some of the trucks there, we moved them. There is a couple things that are stored there, but the other rest are our proper vehicles. And so he said that he'll move that out. But he said that if he can still he can't park anything there at all, even though
Okay.
he owns it.
Yeah, and the way I understand the ordinance, since it's a residential lot, and it has no home on it, no permanent structure, that no, you can't park anything on it. So that's I think the answer to the question, but does he agree that he's not in compliance today?
Entonces él dice que no puedes tener nada ahí porque no tienes una casa. Pero dice que si tú dices que sí, que tú estás culpable porque te acaban de enseñar la evidencia.
Okay. Ahora una pregunta, que si yo compro una...
Sí, pero él quiere saber que sí.
Okay.
Él quiere saber primero eso.
Okay, sí.
Okay, yes. He
Yes?
knows that.
Okay.
It's at fault, yes.
All right, so I think I understand enough of the situation. Based upon the evidence and your testimony as well, Senor Lopez, I'm going to find that a violation does exist on the property. I'm going to order you to comply by May 29th, 2026, failing which there'll be a fine in the amount of $100 per day. That should be plenty of time to remove the vehicles. And then there are costs in the amount of $575 that have to be paid to the county as a result of this hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and issue that order. And if your dad has got questions, he really should talk to Officer Espiat directly. They can chat about what he needs to do to comply.
Una pregunta más de él, que si, por ejemplo, yo compro un nuevo home, ¿puedo poner ahí o ese es comercial o qué es ahí?
Le digo que es residencial.
Residencial.
Okay, so, I'm sorry.
Puedo comprar un nuevo home, le puedo poner ahí, ¿verdad?
What he could put on the property and questions of that kind.
Okay, and that's not a question I can answer. It's a matter of what the zoning district allows, and then you just have to talk to the county about how to comply with the code. Okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so that's this one. And you said there's another
Yes.
same family?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Okay, and so we're going to move on to the next case.
Okay.
And it's KCNF 2026-010150. And this, I guess, is the same, it's the same Francisco Lopez,
And same violation, yes. Different property.
same violation, different property. Okay, all right. Whenever you're ready, we're going to hear from the county.
My name is Maria Espea, and I have been sworn in. I'm a senior code compliance investigator from Martin County. The respondent, Francisco Lopez Reyna, is present. This case concerns a vacant lot in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Francisco Lopez Reyna. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. On January 28, 2026, I inspected the property. At that time, I observed storage and parking on a vacant lot. At that time, I photographed the property. The photograph accurately shows what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibits 2 and 3 is the aerial view of the property. 2 is a vacant residential lot with vehicles and some trailers and ladders and items. Number 3 is an aerial view of where it's located. Based upon the investigation, I issued a notice of violation to the owner on January 29, 2026. The notice of violation is marked as County's Exhibit Number 4. However, due to clerical issue with the code, an amended notice of violation was remailed on April 1st, 2026. The amended notice of violation is County's Exhibit Number 5. In the amended notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violation, Section 12.6.03.2.b, permitted uses in the Port Salerno Redevelopment Zoning District, General Ordinances, Martin County Code. In the amended notice of violation, the respondent was asked to immediately correct the violation since I had already explained to him on the phone in February how to correct it and in person at the property. This property is in the Port Salerno CRA, and Exhibit 6 shows on the map that this is a CRA property located in the
Okay.
CRA.
Mhm.
Compliance was not achieved, and an amended notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on April 1st, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit Number 7. On April 2nd, 2026, I posted the amended notice of hearing at the property and at the Martin County Admin Building. The affidavit of posting is marked as County's Exhibit Number 8. While posting the property, an employee of the owner asked me why I was there. I explained the violation and told him to have the owner contact me. I did not hear from him at that time. Therefore, I went back to the property again on April 14, 2026, and saw that the cited violation had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photograph accurately shows what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibit Number 9. The vehicles are still there. I request that all of the county's exhibits be received into evidence. Based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondent be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29, 2026. If not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 for every day the violations continue thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and request that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing.
Okay. Are these properties adjacent?
They are across from each other, so let me go to the CRA map. Let me zoom in for you and explain. So the property that we're talking about right now is this one.
Yes.
This is the one from the prior case across.
Okay.
He
All
lives
right.
next door, but the property is not under his name.
Okay. Got it. All right. Your dad has seen the evidence. Any objection to any of the pieces of evidence? Same question that we asked before.
Básicamente, que todo lo que tú dices es verdad. He knows that he's at fault.
Okay, fine. So without objection, I'll accept into evidence the county's exhibits 1 through 9 in this case. It's the same violation. You can't park on the vacant lot, even though you own it. Since there's no house there, there's no parking allowed. And does your dad understand that?
Sí, tú comprendes lo que acaba de decir.
Sí,
Es lo mismo caso, los
sí.
dos lados.
Okay, all right. So without objection, I'm going to accept into evidence. I'm going to, based on the evidence and the testimony of both parties, I'm going to find that a violation does exist on the property. I'm going to order compliance on or before May 29th, 2026, failing which there'll be a fine in the amount of $100 per day, which will accrue. And let me just ask the county, these are two identical properties immediately adjacent. I would like to collect one cost. If the county has no objection, I think that's a reasonable thing to do. Or to split them up. I mean, it was the same investigation?
No, Your Honor, actually, there were two separate investigations. Let me just ask the officer, were they initiated at the same time or at different times?
Let me just double check before I answer you.
They gotta be at the same time.
One was January 14th, was one January 28th. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's January 14th. And the other one was January 28th.
And during the course of the investigation, did you take any of these photographs or inspections at the same time, or did you make different trips to the properties to do?
There were different trips on occasions, and some might have been the same day. Like the posting was the same day, but there were different trips because they had different notices on when to come into compliance.
No, Your Honor, I think it's pretty much states that these are two separate investigations, even though the properties are adjacent with the same owner. It wasn't contemporaneous as far as what was being
Yeah,
done.
and that was what I was thinking it might have been because
Yeah.
they're immediately adjacent, so, okay, all right. So
There's
in
one
that
other thing,
case-
Your Honor, if I might, just for clarification purposes because of the language barrier. We've talked a lot about vehicles and parking and everything. If we can just make clear to the respondent that this violation also requires storage. It's not only vehicles, but items, tools, tires, boxes. They can't be anything. Vehicles, items, materials, nothing on the property for it to be in compliance.
So when you understand what the county's saying, if it's a residential lot and it's vacant, it has to be totally vacant.
Okay.
Okay.
Como es residencial y no hay nada, dice que
Alright.
tiene que mantenerse sin nada, o sea, no puede haber nada de materiales o algo.
All right, so based upon the representations of counsel and the additional testimony from Officer Espiat, I am going to find it is appropriate to award costs in the amount of $575 in this case as well. So there's two costs that have to be paid to the county. And I'm going to go ahead and issue that as well.
Upon successful prosecution.
I think that's right.
Okay. All right. Again, if Ms. Bradley, do you want to make copies
Can I
of
ask
these?
something real quick?
Yes.
So just to make sure no one came up and was like called her and like asked, like said anything about it, or like, did she just come around?
That was
Or-
done on a sweep. Both of your properties, along with your neighbor's property that was a vacant lot as well, and several others have the same violation.
Okay, because I remember when I had called around the first time, you had said that the neighbors had complained. So, and then when I like asked you, you said yes. So I just like want to like clarify that. So like if someone did call or like complain or something.
No, I did a sweep and the neighbor brought it up. However, I had already a case open for you for the same violation as them.
Maybe know who that neighbor is? Because we had talked to my other neighbors that live around there, and they also like, it was like a couple years ago before we even owned that lot, like they used to have like, I think like a little shed and a trailer, so she said she didn't
Yes,
find
and
that.
she
like-
removed the trailer.
Yeah, she
All right,
said she didn't.
Your
find
Honor,
that.
any information like that has to come from a Freedom of Information request because it has to be processed to make sure there's no protected information involved.
So you understand what counsel's saying? He's saying you're going to have to actually make a request, and then the county will respond to it.
Okay, where can I make that request?
So you can make it through Ms. Espiat. That's
Okay,
fine.
All right, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Just has to be written.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Thank you. And Ms. Bradley will give you copies of the orders, two of them. Okay. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Tiempo para mover eso ahí, puede dar un poco de tiempo para
Hasta
mover.
mayo. Pero ahorita vamos a ir allá.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank
You're-
you.
You're excused. She's right in the back there. All right, Ms. Espiat, you're still up. We're going back to the Huff case.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, so it's Mary Huff and Robert Huff. It's case number,
Your Honor, I'm sorry, we do have one more person here.
you do?
Mills Stanley, correct? Yes, sorry.
okay. Happy to take you. Mr. Mills, Stanley Mills, is that it? All right, we'll take you.
Sorry about that, Your Honor.
Oh, no, that's fine. I know folks come in and out of here all the time, so.
Got caught up.
Mr. Mills, we're going to hear your case. You're going to hear from the county first, and then we'll get to you. If you just want to keep your eye on the monitor, you'll be able to see the evidence being presented. Officer Shanahan, you haven't testified today, so if you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, whenever you're ready, and let's see, case number 260200147.
Ready? My name is Michael Shanahan, and I've been sworn in. I'm a code compliance investigator from Martin County. The respondent, Stanley Mills, is present. The case concerns a property at 8146 Southeast Wren Avenue, Hopestown, Florida, 33455 in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Stanley Mills. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. On February 13th, 2026, I inspected the property. At that time, I observed violations for trash and debris. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 2 through 5. One is just kind of a general view of the front of the property. You see some of the stuff underneath the carport. 3 is the stuff under the carport. 4 is the door tag. And 5 more stuff on the side of the house. Based upon an investigation, I issued a notice of violation to Stanley Mills on February 26, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit 6. In the notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violation, Section 67.201B, nuisance, declared trash, etc., General Ordinances, Martin County Code. In the notice of violation, the respondent was given until March 12, 2026, to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. Compliance was not achieved, and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on March 16th and is marked as County Exhibit 7. The return receipt was not received, therefore, on March 31st, 2026, I posted the property and the Martin County Administration Building. The affidavit is marked as Exhibit 8. A photograph of the posting is marked as County Exhibit 9. At the time of the posting, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then and are marked as County Exhibits 10 through 12. I circled some of the things that were shown. More stuff underneath the carport. And again, more stuff. No call or letter from the property owner was received within the time allowed. Therefore, I went to the property again on April 14th, 2026, and saw that the cited violations had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then are marked as County Exhibits 13 through 15.
Right. Oops.
13 is just a general view of the front. Still stuff on the side here, still stuff in here. Exhibit 14 still shows the stuff on the side and the stuff in the carport. And 15 shows the carport. I request that all the county exhibits be received into evidence. Based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondent, Stanley Mills, be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29th, 2026, and if not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 for every day the violation continues thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and request that the county be reimbursed in the amount at the conclusion of today's hearing. That's the end of my testimony.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mills, come on up to the podium. You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address?
Stanley Mills, 8146 Southeast Wren Avenue, Hobe Sound, Florida.
All right, and you're the owner of the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've seen what the county's presented, 1 through 15. Any objection to the exhibits?
I do not.
Okay, so without objection, I'll accept those into evidence, and now we can discuss them. Any questions, comment, testimony you want to give?
I had a lot of paint on the porch. I'm a painter by trade.
Mm-hmm.
The paint has all been removed and took to Martin County landfill. And some of the boxes right there on the left front is boxes that go in my vehicle to work with. And all the other stuff has been removed on the porch. Along the side, I wasn't aware that I needed to do that, but I will take care of that also.
Okay. Well, I mean, I see the improvement from, let's say, Exhibit 3, and then comparing it with Exhibit 15. I mean, you can see it's getting there.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks to me like you just have more work to do.
The porch is taken care of. I'll take care of the side. I just have a question. There's a canoe and a kayak, which belong to my son. Is it okay to leave that there beside the house?
I'm sorry, what is it?
A canoe and a kayak.
And
It's on the other side.
It depends on how
Right
it's
there.
stored and where it's stored, and you can talk to the county about that.
Okay. If not, I'll have him come take them. They're
All
not
right.
mine.
And I would tell you, just by looking at 15, I couldn't tell you that everything was okay there. I mean, it looks to me like
No, I agree.
you've still got a lot of things that need to be either removed or stored correctly. So, but again, talk to the county about that.
And I have one question on the photograph on the side of the house where the wood is.
Yes,
That was
sir.
for my chimenea. Is it to be removed also?
Is that, can we see that in 14
Yes,
or no?
Yes. They're in the front of the bucket.
That's the
Right there.
Right here?
Yes.
Yes. Debris, or what is that?
It's wood for the chimney there to
Oh,
burn.
for the burner.
Yes.
I think it just
Was
needs
this-
to be stacked and stored properly. If it's firewood that you use, yeah, that's different yet. But again, I mean, it can't look like a pile of debris,
Okay,
which is what it
understand.
looks like
Just stack
to anybody that's, not, I mean, anybody looking is going to think that. All right, so based upon the evidence and your testimony, Mr. Mills, and the county's, I'm going to find that a violation does exist on the property. I'm going to order you to comply by May 29th, 2026, failing which there'll be a fine in the amount of $100 per day. Looks like you're well on your way, and that probably isn't going to affect you. However, there are costs in the amount of $575 that have to be paid to the county as a result of the hearing, so. And that's that. Let me,
And at this time, when I do all that, I still need to call the county? Okay.
yes, you do, because they still have to come out and inspect it once you're done cleaning everything up.
And that number is on the other papers I received? It's on this paper?
It is.
Okay.
That's on the notice of violation, I think also on the notice of hearing, if I remember correctly.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just see. Yeah, it's on the notice of violation,
Yes, I see it now. Thank you.
so that should be okay. All right. You're here, so we're going to give you a copy of the order.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else here on cases?
Yes, Mary Huff.
Okay. All right. All right, so we'll hear the Huff case next. It's ENF 2025-090-306-01. Mary and Robert Huff, I guess is how the property is titled. And Ms. Huff, what we're going to do is hear from the county first, and then I'll swear you in and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, and you can, if you look at that monitor in front of you, the county's going to present some evidence. At the conclusion of the evidence, I'm going to ask if you have any objection to it. And if you don't, then we'll proceed and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, good. So Ms. Espiat's already been sworn in. Let's hear her testimony in this case, and then we'll see where we are. Okay?
My name is Maria Espiat, and I have been sworn in. I'm a senior code compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondents, Mary Huff and Robert Huff, are present. This case concerns a property at 842 Southeast St. Lucie Boulevard in Stuart, Florida, in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owners are Mary Huff and Robert Huff. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. On September 15th, 2025, I inspected the property. At that time, I observed high grass, exterior damage to the main home, roof damage to the detached garage, and an inoperable boat. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibits 2 through 12. 2 is the driveway area from the view from the front to the rear, the inoperable boat, high grass, you could see throughout. 3 is a closer view as you keep walking further to the back area. This is a detached garage behind. 4, the inoperable boat. 5 is a view from the back facing the front of the home. So this is the back of the main home, and this is the side of the detached garage along with the grass and the inop boat there. 6, I'll zoom in. You could see the exterior damage and rot on the top. 7, some more exterior damage surrounding the window, possibly rotting. Number 8 is as if you were entering the backyard between the detached garage and the end of the home. The high grass, that's a shed. You could see right here some damage. Number 9 is just another view. You can see all the high grass, some of the exterior damage there. 10 is, this is the back of the main structure. And if I zoom in and you see to the left, there's exterior damage and high grass surrounding. 11 is the detached garage. That is the roof that's damaged with the high grass surrounding it. And 12, more high grass surrounding the detached garage.
Okay.
The home appeared to be vacant, so I left a door tag with the neighbors at the neighbor's property so I could possibly get information how to get in contact with the owners. However, at that time, I was not successful. I issued a notice of violation to the owners on November 6, 2025, marked as County's Exhibit Number 13. In the notice, I cited the following Martin County Code violation. Section 67.201A, nuisance declared weeds, undergrowth, general ordinances, Martin County Code. Section 21.110, exterior structure, general ordinances, Martin County Code. Section 21.115, roofs and drainage, general ordinances, Martin County Code. And Section 91.34A, generally inoperable vehicles, general ordinances, Martin County Code. In the notice of violation, the respondents were given until December 8th, 2025 to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. Compliance was not achieved and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on December 15, 2025, marked as County's Exhibit 14. I received a call from the owner, Mary Huff, December 10th, 2025. I explained the violation to her. She stated she didn't live locally and requested additional time. Therefore, I extended her time. As of March 4th, 2026, the inoperable boat was removed, but all other violations remained. Therefore, I amended the notice of hearing and mailed it by certified mail on March 4th. The amended notice of hearing is marked as County's Exhibit Number 15. The return receipt was not received, so on April 2nd, 2026, I posted the property and the Martin County Admin Building. The affidavit of posting and posting at the property are marked as County's Exhibits 16 and 17. 16 is the affidavit. 17 is the posting at the property.
Okay.
I called the owner back on April 8th, 2026. She stated she had been speaking with a contractor, but I checked and there were no permits applied for. I explained that the case had been open since September of 25, and I could not extend her time longer. Therefore, I went back to the property again on April 14, 2026, and saw that the cited violation had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs accurately show what I saw then, marked as County's Exhibits 18 through 26. So this part was mowed as far as the driveway, but there's sections of high grass on this side by the tree.
And the boat is
The boat is gone,
Gone.
yes, sir.
see that?
And there's tree debris on the left. Number 19 is just, walking towards the back. You could see the exterior damage still exists. 20, more exterior damage. 21 is high grass along the actual home. 22, the roof of the detached garage with some high grass surrounding it. 23, high grass on the edges. I don't know if that's trash or not on the floor. 24, this is facing the rear of the property. And if I zoom in, you could see that there are sections of high grass. 25, another view of that damaged exterior of the main structure. 26 is leaving the driveway to exit the property, the high grass on the side. I also did a permit search and see no permits had been applied for. The permit history is County's Exhibit Number 27. There's only one permit from, I believe that's 2012. And that's all there is as far as the history on that property.
Looks like 2002.
Or, I'm not sure if it's 12 or 2, to be honest with you.
It's
Two.
Oh, yeah, 2, right here.
February 20th, 2002.
I request that all of the county's exhibits be received into evidence. Based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondent, Mary Huff and Robert Huff, be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29, 2026. If not in compliance by then, pay a fine in the amount of $100 per violation per day for every day the violations continue thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and request that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing. I'd like to add that a contractor did call me about doing the repairs, and I asked him to please try to get the permit at least applied for, but he has not as of this morning. But she has been trying to get someone to get a permit for this property.
Okay, so notwithstanding what I'm looking at in Exhibit 27, there actually was an application filed for a permit?
No, this is
Not
the
yet.
only permit on file, which was from 2002, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the contractor hasn't
Has
actually
not
even
even
filed
applied
yet?
yet.
Okay, got it. All right, Ms. Huff, let's see, let me just swear you in first. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so you've heard the county, any objection to their exhibits?
No, Your Honor,
Okay, so without objection, I'm going to accept those into evidence. Tell me what you need to tell me.
I have tried and tried. I've called at least 20 roofers.
Oh,
I got like 6 callbacks. They went out. I got, out of all of that, I got 1 roofer to give me an estimate. I tried to call him to tell him, ask him when he's going to start and get the paperwork done. That's it.
okay, and I don't know whether you've talked to one another, you and Ms. Espiat. Is it the same contractor we're talking about?
Yes, she had him call me, and we've been in communication.
Okay.
But he said he was gonna get a permit, and that didn't happen.
All right, so sounds like at least you've got a contractor, but he hasn't applied, hasn't started, hasn't,
I've asked him to go in and apply for a permit.
all right. Did he indicate to you how long the work would take to complete?
No,
Okay,
because at first most of them all said it's too small of a job. It didn't pay them to go out and do it. And I said, do the whole roof. If that's what it takes, do the whole roof. It is very frustrating.
okay. Well, I wish I could take some of your frustration away, but I can't. It looks to me like, based upon the evidence, your testimony, that violations do exist on the property, still remain. You know, even the tall grass, there's still clumps of tall grass
I
that need
paid
to be
for a
dealt.
yard man.
Yeah, it looks like what he did, or she, just went in there with a mower, but
I bought an edger and brought it up to him. It's in my car right now.
Okay, so that's going to help a bit too. But then the exterior of that structure needs to be repaired and along with the roof, so.
What I need is about some time. This guy, I think, he seems reputable and very nice, and just getting him to start it.
Okay, we're at mid-April. I'm wondering if the county would agree to extend the time for compliance. Looks to me like, based on the pattern here, that it may need to go until the end of June instead of the end of May.
It goes 60 days.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, good. All right, so I'm gonna set the date for compliance to June 30th.
Thank you.
and hopefully that's enough time.
I hope so too.
But make sure that you stay in contact with the county. I understand that you're not residing in the area, and as a result, it gets a little difficult to handle property outside of the county. But
He's been
stay in
very
touch
nice.
with, thank you, Ms. Espiat. She appreciates that, I'm sure. And then that way, hopefully you can avoid any problems. I'll give you until the end of June, failing which, there's a fine in the amount of $100 per day that will start July 1st for each of the violations. So you want to get all three of them taken care of. There's the weeds and the overgrowth, and then there's the exterior of the structure, and then the roof. So those are the three things. Now, I am going to award costs in the amount of $575 to be paid to the county at the conclusion of the hearing, so they can tell you how to take care of that. I'm going to sign the order as presented, except for the date for compliance, which I'm changing now. All right. Okay, all set. We'll give you a copy of the order to take with you.
Thank you. I appreciate
ma'am.
it.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All
I
right,
need
thank you to both of you. Mr. Huff, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty, let's see. Who's next? Have you got a case, or are you observing?
Your Honor,
Well, my name's Thomas Arnold Tucker. I live in Corwin Cove. Our absentee president of the association was here.
Okay, so,
Yeah, there's my summons from Maria. Come up to the mic.
Okay.
Use of that handicap
let
sticker.
me ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
All right, and your full name, sir?
Thomas Arnold Tucker.
Okay, and your affiliation with Cora Wynn Cove, Inc.?
Yes,
What is it?
I'm a resident there.
You're a resident. And did you just come to observe?
No, sir.
Your Honor, he's the tenant in the subject
Oh,
property.
the tenant. You're the tenant. Okay. That case has been heard and resolved. I ordered compliance on or before May 29th.
Well, I was at Maria's office up there in Willoughby,
Yeah.
and she told me, just look like you're doing something, which I have a picture on my phone of a big pile of trash alongside the road. It was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And finally,
but-
one of the residents called Waste Management, and they came by with the claw truck and picked it up.
Okay, but let me just stop you. That case has been heard. It's basically over. And you came in too late.
No, sir, I was here before 9.
Well,
Your Honor, he was here, but he wasn't the respondent. He's just a tenant.
well, if he's the person responsible,
Well, the person responsible is the association, that's why, and they're the ones evicting him. And that's why I try to bring up that they, until the eviction, they can't clean it up.
yeah. So, anyway, the case is over. If you needed to be heard, you needed to be heard when it was ongoing. And we were not even aware, I didn't know that you were even here.
Here's the summons taped to my screen porch up here.
I don't know what you're looking at, but, If it's a notice of hearing,
It's the notice.
yeah, it's just a notice of hearing. It's not a summons for you.
I was in Maria's office about
Yeah.
2 months ago, and she told me just, make it look like you're doing something.
Yeah, no.
She wasn't overly concerned.
That's, okay. No, I can't,
Can I ask you questions about code violations?
you can, but not to me, because I can't answer them, but the county can answer them.
Well, who do I go see then?
Maria would be fine, or
In
whoever.
her office in Willoughby, right? Over on
Yes.
Willoughby.
Yeah, exactly. It's off Willoughby on Runkey Street.
I've been there.
Okay,
I was there a couple months ago, saw her.
yeah.
Okay, so I can leave now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Where are we?
I believe we were at Sean Ranger
All right.
at the bottom of first page.
I got it. Thank you. It's ENF 2026-020054. And the respondent is Sean Ranger, and Officer Humphrey, you're going to testify if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
All right, whenever you're ready.
There's nothing wrong with that,
My name is Michael Humphrey, and I have been sworn in. I'm a code and compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondent, Sean Ranger, is not present. This case concerns the property at 9754 Southeast Hidden Court in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the official records of the property appraiser in Martin County, the property owner is Sean Ranger. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit 1. On February 5th, 2026, Kelly Switzer inspected the property. At that time, she observed inoperable vehicles, trash and debris, and overgrowth. At that time, she photographed the property, and the photographs accurately show what she saw and is marked as County's Exhibit 2, 3, and 4. These are the inoperable trailers. Based upon the investigation, she issued a notice of violation to Sean Ranger on February 10th, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit 5. In the notice, she cited the following Martin County Code violations: Section 93.34A, inoperable vehicles; Section 67.201A, weeds and undergrowth; Section 67.201B, trash. In the notice of violation, the respondent was given until February 27th to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. On March 5th, Kelly Switzer did a follow-up inspection and found no change. The photographs are marked as County's Exhibit 6 and 7.
Okay.
Compliance was not achieved, and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on March 6th and is marked as County's Exhibit 8. The return receipt was not received on or before March 31st, so therefore, I went to the property and the county administration building and posted both. The affidavit of posting is marked as County's Exhibit 9. I also photographed the property that day. The photographs are marked as County's Exhibit 10 and 11. No call or letter from the property owner was received within the time allowed. Therefore, I went to the property again on April 14th and saw that the cited violations had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property, and the photographs accurately show what I saw and is marked as County's Exhibit 12, 13, and 14.
Okay.
I request that all the county's exhibits be received into evidence. Based upon the testimony and evidence, I request that the respondent, Sean Ranger, be ordered to comply with the cited provisions of the Martin County Code by May 29th, 2026, and if not in compliance by then, be required to pay a fine in the amount of $100 per day per violation. Every day for the violations continue thereafter. The county has incurred a cost in the amount of $575 conducting this investigation and request that the county be reimbursed this amount at the conclusion of today's hearing.
Okay, anybody here on behalf of Sean Ranger? Looking out, seeing no one. Without objection, I'll accept into evidence the county's exhibits 1 through 14 in this case. Based upon that evidence, I'll find that violations as charged do exist on the property and order compliance on or before May 29th, 2026, failing which a fine in the amount of $100 per violation per day will accrue, and I'll further award costs in the amount of $575 to be paid to the county at the conclusion of this hearing. Thank you. Okay. All right, next is the Mullings-Proctor case. This is KCNF 2025-120501, and it's Gloria, I guess, Mullings-Proctor, is that correct? Life Estate, and Hiroshi Proctor. Not sure. You can never tell with the way the property appraiser does this. Officer Shanahan, you've been sworn in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. My name is Michael Shanahan, and I have been sworn in. I am a code compliance investigator for Martin County. The respondent, Gloria Mullings Proctor and Hiroshi Proctor Life Estate, are not present. This case concerns a property at 7931 Southeast Asaro Lane in Hopestown, Florida, 334 and 55 in Martin County, Florida. This case was not generated from an anonymous complaint. According to the property or to the official records of the property appraiser of Martin County, the property owner is Gloria Mullins Proctor and Hiroshi Proctor Life Estate. A copy of the property appraiser's record of ownership is County's Exhibit Number 1. On December 22nd, 2025, Officer Kelly Switzer inspected the property. At that time, she observed inoperable vehicles, high grass, and roof damage. At the time she photographed the property, the photographs accurately show what she saw then and are marked as County's Exhibits 2 through 4. 2 shows the roof, some of the roof damage here, and there's a car here. 3 again is the roof. And then the car, you see, I mean, there's holes in the roof here. And 4, again, pretty much the same picture.
There's a car in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a car right here. Actually, there's 2 cars there. Based upon the investigation, Kelly Switzer issued a notice of violation to Gloria Mullings Proctor and Hiroshi Proctor Life Estate on January 5th, 2026, marked as County's Exhibit 5. In the notice, she cited the following Martin County Code violations: Section 91.34A, Generally Inoperable Vehicles, General Ordinances, Martin County Code; Section 67.201A, Nuisance Declared Weeds, Undergrowth, General Ordinances, Martin County Code; and Section 21.115, Roofs and Drainage, General Ordinances, Martin County Code. In the notice, the violation of respondent was given until January 20th, 2026 to correct the violation and was informed of the need to contact Martin County Code Enforcement upon doing so. The case was reassigned to me in mid-March, and I did a follow-up inspection on March 16th, 2026. At the time I photographed the property, the photographs actually show what I saw then and are marked as County Exhibits 6 through 8. 6 shows the front of the house with the high grass. 7 again is the front with high grass. 8 is where the car is in the roof. You can actually see the cars this time. Compliance was not achieved, and a notice of hearing was issued by certified mail on March 17, 2026, and is marked as County Exhibit 9. The return receipt was not received. Therefore, on March 31st, 2026, I posted the property and the Martin County Administration Building. The affidavit is marked as County Exhibit 10. A photograph of the posting is marked as County Exhibit 11. I spoke with Mr. Robert Giddings, the homeowner's nephew, who advised he is helping his aunt with the problem. The homeowner is a 94-year-old relative who has not lived at the property for some time. Mr. Giddings indicated he is in the process of having the violations resolved. Therefore, I went to the property again on April 14, 2026, and saw that the cited violations had not been corrected. At that time, I photographed the property. The photographs actually show what I saw then and are marked as County Exhibits 12 through 14. Now, 12 is kind of the entrance to the property. It's just overgrown. It's like a driveway going into the front of the property. 13 is, again, the front of the property. Some of the grass had been mowed. It looks like they did try to mow it, but there were still sections of high grass around the house. And then 14, the cars were removed. However, again, there's high grass and some other debris here, which wasn't on the violations, but they are aware of it.
So,
Go ahead.
all right, thank you. And I'm looking at a stipulation that's in front of me, but I also note that it's, the name of Gloria Mullings Proctor is typed in. Do we know whether she's actually signed it?
Yes, it was done through DocuSign, which we have a copy of the DocuSign.
Okay, good. Let me just verify that, if you will.
Okay.
We may actually even add that into evidence. All right, and Mr. Giddings is...
The nephew.
Does he have a power of attorney, do we know?
His wife has a power of attorney for Gloria Mullins Proctor. But we did not receive a copy of that because she signed it, or pretty much signed the electronic copy of it. Not the wife.
Okay.
She lives with him in Canada.
Just going forward, I don't want to have an issue, somebody coming back saying, oh, I never signed that. It looks like... Okay, so Mrs. Giddings is the one that has the power of attorney.
Correct.
All right, maybe what we do is try and get a copy of that for the file. I don't know that it necessarily needs to go into evidence, but and I think going forward, when you use DocuSign, which is great, just put that as part of the evidence.
Okay.
I'm going to add this as an exhibit 15.
Okay.
And you see the issue, right?
I actually haven't reviewed I wasn't aware of the DocuSign until actually this moment.
Okay. No problem with DocuSign. Show that to council, but it's in Mr. Giddings' name, and apparently Mrs. Giddings is the one that actually has the power of attorney. There's a little technicality there.
Robert Giddings signed.
Yes, I agree. It would be preferable if it was much clearer as to who actually, right. Apparently Robert Giddings transmitted the DocuSign under his DocuSign account, but,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
our position that it was actually the respondent who signed the document.
All right, so
Story, I'll stick it to it.
in that case, by and through her attorney, in fact, I'm going to say that Ms. Proctor did execute the agreement, and Officer Shanahan, you did on behalf of the county. I'm going to find that it is appropriate to enter the order approving the stipulation, which orders compliance order before July 15th, failing which there's $100 per violation per day, which is, I guess, just the two now.
Yes.
The nuisance, declared weeds, and the roof and drainage damage. Okay. All right. I think we're good to go. I'm sorry. That can go actually to Miss Bradley. Not, just mark it as 15th in this case. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Brownlee, you've got a stipulation as well. This is the Hobbs, Inc. case. It's ENF 2023-0204-23-01, and it's Hobbs, Inc.
Yes, sir.
Also a stipulation. And what have we got here?
It's actually under, I believe, Bodie up there.
I'm sorry?
I believe the stipulation you have up there says Bodie on it.
It does.
It has a new owner.
Okay. And for some reason, I know when Officer Krasko was testifying, I couldn't hear very well. So I don't know whether that just needs to come forward or whether you need to amp up the mic or something. Anyway, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. All right, so the case is in the name of Hobbs, and as you point out, the amended stipulation is from Bodie, B-O-D-H-I Farms, LLC.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
And you're going to testify. So
I am.
What have we got?
my name is Rachel Spradley, and I've been sworn in. I'm the nuisance abatement coordinator for Martin County. This case concerns the property located at 14245 Southeast Kitchen Creek Road in Hope Sound, Martin County, Florida. So this one, Mr. Nicoletti, is just an extension of an original stipulation that we had in place with Hobbs Incorporated. They have since sold the property to Bodie Farms, and they have agreed to extending out, or we've both agreed, I'm sorry, to extending out the date until October 1st for him to be able to get a permit for the barn structure that has been built on this property. All the other violations that were on the stipulation have been rectified.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir. So this is just an extension of the original order.
All right. And other than, let's see, you've got just one exhibit, right?
Yes, I just put the original order in there showing
The stipulation
that
and
that was
agreed
what
order.
we were extending out.
All right. All right. So looking at the stipulation, I'm going to find that it is appropriate to extend the date for compliance for this one issue, which is to obtain a permit for the barn structure until October 1st, 2026. And failing which, there is a fine in the amount of $100 per day. The respondent is Bodhi, or B-O-D-H-I Farms LLC, signed by Andrew Montgomery as manager, and Ms. Bradley, you on behalf of the county. And let's just see. And were there costs, additional costs, or no?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. Let me just see, exhibit. All righty. And Let's see, we're getting down there. Okay, Kritoff was the
Krytop.
fine reduction stipulation that I reviewed mid-month.
Yes, sir.
And that, let's see, I did not bring a copy with me.
I put it up there for you.
Are you going to,
We need to put it on the record, but I
oh,
did.
no, I know we need
I
to
put
put
the
it on-
signed one up there for you.
oh, you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Good, thank you. All right, this is case number ENF 2023-040720, Martin County versus Brian and Sally Kritoff, C-R-I-T-O-P-H. And this was a fine reduction request, stipulation entered into by the Kritoffs and the county mid-month, dated 7th and 8th of April. And I considered it and executed the agreed order on April 8th, 2026, based upon the submittals to me, which included, I will tell you, it included the original stipulation and agreed order requiring compliance by April 30th, 2024, and then an affidavit of compliance and accrued fines, which was issued on August 14th, 2024. So there was that time period in there, and the fines accrued to $21,100 and costs in the amount of $350. But they've now been paid, and the fine has been reduced to $2,110.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what we did mid-month, and that case now is as a part of this record. And let's see. Then we've got case number ENF 2025-090063, and it's the respondent is 5463 LLC. That's also a fine reduction stipulation.
Yes, sir.
And what have we got there?
My name is Rachel Spradley, and I've been sworn in. I'm the nuisance abatement coordinator for Martin County. This case concerns the property located at 5279 Southeast Isabelita Avenue, Stuart, in Martin County, Florida. On December 17, 2025, an order finding violation was issued by the Code Enforcement Magistrate to 5463 LLC for Section 67201A, nuisance declared weeds, undergrowth, General Ordinances, Martin County Code, and Section 67201B, nuisance declared trash, etc., General Ordinance, Martin County Code. So Exhibit 1 is the property appraiser from that time. Exhibit 2 is the recorded order that was issued to 5463 LLC. Compliance was required by January 30th, 2026. On March 20th, 2026, an affidavit of compliance with accrued fines was issued reflecting an outstanding fine in the amount of $9,400 plus cost in the amount of $575. Foley Investments LLC are the current owners of the property pursuant to a quick claim deed recorded in official record books 3553, page 872, Martin County, Florida Public Records. The respondent has no remaining interest in the property. Staff has determined that a lien reduction is warranted. The current owners were not responsible for the violation. However, they brought the property into compliance and have offered to pay $940 to resolve the outstanding fines which have accrued, plus the $575. This fine reduction is in compliance with the requirements of Section 1.98B General Ordinances, Martin County Code. So Exhibit 3 is the affidavit of compliance with fines showing the balance due. And then Exhibit 4 was the reduction request that we received from Foley Investments.
Okay. All right, and I see attached to the stipulation the DocuSign documents showing the the signatures and timestamps and things. And I think that's a good idea to include that as Exhibit 5.
Okay.
All right. So note for the record that Nicholas Ralph Ortuta, as sole manager of Fowey Investments LLC, was executed on behalf of 5463 LLC. And let's see, do I have any indication as to what his position is? Do they own that LLC?
He's the sole manager of the LLC, of the Foley Investments LLC,
And,
because that's the new owner.
oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, all right, okay. All right, so I'm going to find that it is appropriate to accept the fine reduction stipulation and note for the record that Mr. Ralph Ortuta has signed on behalf of the owner and Ms. Bradley on behalf of the county. And go ahead and enter the order accepting $940 plus cost in the amount of $575. Total of $1,515. Okay. All right. Let me just make a note there. All right, and also note for the record that the March minutes are here. I've reviewed them offline, and I note that they're signed by the preparer and by the code administrator, John Colando. So I'm going to go ahead and execute the minutes for March of 2026. Okay. Anything else to come before us today?
That's all.
Great, okay. So the next hearing is May 20th, 2026, at 9 a.m. We'll see you all then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stand adjourned.